I don't know what was going on Thursday with Karrion Cross, but it was weird. So let me catch you up a little bit. Karrion Cross is sort of doing this worked shoot thing that he kicked off, I think, WrestleMania weekend. It's gotten a little bit of buzz, and I mean a little bit of buzz, in the hardcore WWE fan circle. It hasn't really broken out of that. Karrion Cross, I seriously doubt, is a hot topic of conversation in any of your wrestling group chats. But among the hardcore WWE fan base, he's gotten a little bit of buzz over sort of this work shoot thing that he's doing. And I give the guy credit because he's not being pushed or even used at all. He's not being pushed at all. He's barely being used. If you go back just to his last 10 matches, you're already into 2024. I mean, the guy has only wrestled 5 matches for WWE this year. And I mean, we're creeping up on June. Okay, we're creeping up on halfway through the year. He's wrestled 5 matches. One of them was a battle royal. He's got almost as many indie matches this year as he does WWE matches. So he doesn't get pushed. He hardly ever gets used. And I give the guy credit for trying something outside the box to drum up a little interest in himself. It's more noble than complaining or whining or tweeting out philosophical quotes to, soft bury the company or be passive aggressive towards, your lack of push or whatever. And these days, that's, doing that kind of shit is really the move you make when you're trying to get cut more than anything else. So, he's out there trying something different. And I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, he's Karrion Cross, so probably not. But anyway, he wrestled Tyler Bate on Main Event this week. And really, that's where he lives these days. He has wrestled Akira Tozawa on Main Event. Back at the end of March, he wrestled Dragon Lee and lost. Now, if he would have lost to Akira Tozawa, he may as well just pack it in and put in his notice. But he did beat Akira Tozawa. But he lost to Dragon Lee a couple of weeks ago on Main Event, which makes sense. Dragon Lee at least has a modicum of a push in the speed division. Karrion Cross gets no push whatsoever. But this week he wrestled Tyler Bate on Main Event. Totally nondescript match. I'll get into that in a second. But I believe on Thursday. I think Main Event airs on Thursday. I don't even know. Who the fuck watches Main Event? And what kind of sicko do you have to be to watch WWE Main Event? The home of Karrion Cross and A-Town Down Under. I mean, you got to be an absolute fucking sicko. But I think it airs on Thursdays. Anyway, there was a series of tweets, and it was really suspicious. After this Karrion Cross Tyler Bate match, it was so strange. A lot of the wrestling news sites with a Z put out very similar tweets. They attached the same video clip, the same exact clip, the same length, the same identical clips, right? Where if you look at the thumbnail, it's Tyler Bate standing in the ring looking at the entrance area. So it was all the same clip and all very similar messaging in the tweet itself. And a bunch of these went out from the news sites and all of these wannabe influencers and blue check mark dorks that are always putting over WWE. And it was very suspicious in the same way, like when there's a huge fast national blitz. They don't happen anymore because Cheeseboard's basically the only guy doing that these days. But back a year and a half ago when we were getting fast nationals, which were clearly choreographed tweets, encouraged by the company, which I did a ton of reporting on. We've confirmed that stuff was all pushed PR from the company. But that's what this was in the vein of. And I'm going to read you a couple of the tweets, and you'll see it's all very similar messaging, and it was all the same exact video clip, same length. And these are all from the news sites. I'm going to leave out some of the ones from the, wannabe influencers and fan accounts with the check marks and things like that. But there's a bunch more other than these few I'm going to read you, but these are from the news sites. First one says, quote, "The reaction to Karrion Cross on WWE main event this week. Eyeball emoji, eyeball emoji, eyeball emoji." End quote. Here's another one. Quote, "Karrion Cross got a great reaction on WWE main event this week." End quote. Here's another one. Quote, "Another big crowd reaction for Karrion Cross as he faced Tyler Bate on this week's episode of WWE main event. Eyeball emoji, fire emoji." End quote. You get the idea. There's a lot more. Go ahead and, if you could get the Twitter search to work, which is a whole nother ordeal, there's many more of these, and they all use the same video clip and the same basic message of this alleged massive reaction that Karrion Cross got on main event this week. And the funny thing is, if you slap play on this little video, here's the funny thing about it. The video starts right at Cross's entrance. His music hits, and he's back to doing that dorky entrance he used to do in NXT when he was where Scarlett does the horrible lip syncing to his song and all that, and it looks like she's having a seizure, like that whole thing. So the music hits, and he gets just a regular reaction. I wouldn't call it a bad reaction. I wouldn't call it silence. I wouldn't call it some kind of massive pop. I certainly wouldn't call it worthy of putting out a tweet as to how big the reaction was. And then when he comes out from behind the curtain, you get the fake WWE vacuum crowd sound for 3 or 4 seconds. And then he comes down, and Scarlett has her spasms and lip syncs the song, and he does his fall and pray thing, and the entrance has energy. I'll give it that. I hate that lip syncing though. It's just it's like so eye rolly to me. Just nails on a chalkboard when she does that. But anyway, so the point here is there was not any kind of special reaction at all. And in fact, who are the commentators for main event? I think it's who the fuck does that show? It's Vic Joseph and some other nerd. I don't know. So one of the either Vic Joseph or the other guy. I know one of them is Vic Joseph. I'll pull it up in a second. Blake Howard apparently is this man's name. So, as he's making this entrance, one of them actually says to the other, and I can't tell them apart because they have the same fake WWE announcer voice. Vic, this crowd has been stunned into silence at the presence of Karrion Cross. So even the announcers are covering for the fact that he's not, in fact, getting any kind of giant reaction. Like, the announcers are literally telling you in the clip, go play it for yourself, that the crowd is silent. I'm not saying this. Blake Howard and Vic Joseph are saying it, not me. That the crowd was, quote, stunned into silence. So you don't have to take my word for it. You might be sitting there in your car on the way to work or on your little device doing the dishes or wherever the fuck you listen to this. You might be saying to yourself, here's the thing, Joe. I know you don't like WWE. I know you like ragging on this company. Wait to hear this SmackDown review. So maybe he did get a big reaction and you're downplaying it. Okay, you don't have to trust me. You can listen to the two men calling the match who are being paid by the company to put this shit over. They themselves told the audience during the entrance that the crowd was stunned into silence. But yet, all these tweets. The reaction. Karrion Cross got a main event. Karrion Cross got a great reaction on main event this week. Another big crowd reaction for Karrion Cross. What? That's possible for one of these shill accounts that just puts everything over to make a tweet like this. We see it all the time. How many times have you been on Twitter, X, Zwitter, whatever you call it? I don't know if it's migrated over to Blue Sky or not, but let's stick with the old school. How many times have you seen on Twitter some awful 30-second clip, usually from NXT, of two barely trained geeks clumsily tripping their way through some awful looking spot, and one of these checkmark accounts, whether it's Fade Away Media or one of these other people chasing Elon pennies, putting it over with eyeball emojis and fire emojis and, you know, whoever the fuck Fallon Henley was cooking this week as she struggles to do some overcomplicated spot that she shouldn't be doing. You've seen that genre of tweet how many times? You can find one right now if you look for one, right? So we know that these people, some of them are just grifting, chasing the Elon pennies. Some of them are just over-eager fans, many of them kids. They're probably teenagers. They don't know what good wrestling is. So they just, they see someone do, a very slow and clumsy looking flip or something, and they lose their minds and they tweet out the clip, and then they're anxiously refreshing to see how many likes they get. And, but that could easily be explained if one of these accounts put out this clip and was excited about this alleged gigantic reaction Karrion. Maybe they fell for the vacuum sound and thought it was real, whatever the case may be. Maybe they're big Karrion Cross fans. Okay. That happens. But this was a flood, a deluge of the same tweet with the same wording, with the same exact video clip. That's the other weird thing. It's all the same exact clip. A dozen of them or more all over Twitter. And some of them from news sites. I mean, you can't help but think that in some way this is orchestrated. How could you not think it? And I don't know whether it was or not. I have no evidence to say that. Do I think that the WWE PR is pushing a Karrion Cross agenda? No, honestly, I don't. They don't even put this fucking guy on TV. He loses half the time when he hits tape and he wrestles his little match on main event. I don't think they give a shit about Karrion Cross. So how did this happen? Why did this happen? It's completely bizarre. Could it have been Karrion Cross himself? From what I'm told, he's a very hard worker when it comes to self-promotion. Had a few little birdies tell me that in the wake of this nonsense. We all know he likes to cozy up to some of the people in the wrestling media. If you didn't know, you know now. So is this Cross to it? Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe there's nothing. Maybe it's just one account tweeted it out and it did some numbers. And all the others saw that and said, oh, well, shit, let us jump on this. And then they ripped the clip, which would explain why it's all the same clip, right? and just repeated the message, maybe not even watching the clip first, because maybe if you watch the clip first, you go, wait a minute, he didn't even really get that great of a reaction. And then maybe you don't tweet this out. So half these people probably didn't even watch the clip. I fail to believe these people are watching Main Event. That I cannot accept. No one's fucking watching Main Event. So could that be it? Are they just are they just copying each other's homework? I can totally buy that. I can totally buy that too. But it is truly bizarre. It's fucking Karrion Cross. Nobody cares. No one is ever going to care. How many times have we been down this road with this guy? They're not going to push him. He's been doing this entrance now for how long? 7 years or something? How long has he been in this company? Since the fucking pandemic, 2020. And again, I respect the hustle. The guy's trying. It's a lot more than can be said for some of the other people on the roster who just are content to sit in catering and rot, or to be passive aggressive on social media. He's at least being proactive, and I have a lot of respect for that. But my God, I mean, how desperate must you be for engagement if we're all copying each other's homework to tell everybody about this great reaction that Karrion Cross got on Main Event, when right in the clip the announcers are telling you that the fans were stunned into silence because they're actually not making any noise. It really is incredible. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. Maybe there is some weird PR push happening for Karrion Cross. Well, I don't know.